Hi and welcome to my review of the Southern Cross Ultimate Tourer tent, the 9 foot by 9 foot version. I'm here in Belanglo State Forest in New South Wales. Wonderful, very old pine forest. I'm in the oldest part of the forest here. It does of course have an infamous past history with Ivan Milat, but anyway, let's take a look at the tent itself. Here it is. This is the basic configuration of the tent. It is just set up without the awning or the side pole kit. I'll show you that later on. It's the door at the front, and then on the other three sides it has the roll-up windows. Each of those has the very thick mesh so that you can see out, but it's much more difficult to see in. I've got one single stretcher in the tent at the moment. It's an Oztent King Goanna stretcher, so quite a big one, but it does touch the sides, and you'll see that when we go inside. So let's take a closer look at some of the features on the outside of the tent. On all four corners is a fairly large steel ring. So in its simplest form, you can just peg the four corners out and put the single center pole in, and that's it. The tent is pitched in a couple of minutes or so. All four sides have two additional smaller steel tent rings as well, peg rings, I'm sorry. You can see the canvas that you roll up for the window. This one's rolled up. They've got Velcro tags, or two of those, to keep that rolled up canvas in place. As I said, the mesh is quite dark, so you can see out very easily, but it's much harder to see in the tent. Stitching is very good. The Southern Cross tents have a very good reputation for quality. You can see some slight sagging there at the front. I'll talk about that a bit more later on. At the front of the tent, we've got the heavy-duty zips that run all the way around on the outer door. They're not YKK zips, at least on the model I've got. They are SCC zips, but still very heavy duty. I've not had any problems with those, and that's the same zips all around. So let's take a look inside the tent itself. I've got the single stretcher on the left hand side. It's also got a 10 centimeter thick Clark foam mattress on there, a pillow and a sleeping bag, and as you might be able to see, it does pretty much touch the ends and the side of the tent, so there really isn't much room inside for certainly any more than two stretchers if you're using stretchers. On the left hand side, some space where you can fit another stretcher. You've got the center pole, which sits in a little plastic cup on the bottom, and also in the top. It's a bit too dark to see anything where I've videoed this, but that is the quickest way to set the tent up. There's Velcro on each side, I think presumably to hang things from. And if we take a look down at the side of the tent, you can just see some kind of sleeves and a reinforced area where the side pole kit or the side poles would go if you use that. I'll show you that in a second. Looking out, I said it's fairly clear. You get a good view outside from those mesh windows. So stepping back out of the tent itself, you can see again there's the Southern Cross label. This is about 6 years old. It's 2014 as I film this, so I think this is about a 2008 model tent. And that's showing a bit more of the sagging. At the top is the zip for the optional awning. I've got the small awning, which I'll attach in a second, but that's where you attach that awning. And there's the poles. There's two longer poles on the left hand side for the awning, and then the side pole extension kit, which I think goes for about $130 or so in addition to the basic tent. So here we have the tent. I've now added the optional small awning, same type of canvas material, and it's about 6 or 7 feet long, so gives a little bit of shade out in the front of the tent and some protection from rain. if it is raining, and hopefully keeps that from going inside of the tent with the doors open. The guy lines, these are very traditional rope guys with a spring where you peg it in. And if we follow along the awning, then you'll see that there's a Velcro attachment at the top. It is also zipped on. And then if we look down from the Velcro attachment, you'll see that there is a piece of stretch cord which just pulls the awning nice and snug against the side of the tent, and you just saw again where it was sagging there. So that's the awning. I bought this whole setup with the awning, the tent, and the side pole kit for $600 used off eBay. There's the sagging. All the peg points are pulled taut, and the pole is as high as I could put it in the inside of the tent, so I'm not too sure what I've not done right there. But anyway, looking inside, I've taken the stretcher out. I've now replaced the center pole with the side pole that you can see running up either side. You've got the coat hanger type pole at the top of the tent where you can hang things on, and that runs down either side and fits in some reinforced kind of sleeves on either side of the tent. Certainly gives a lot more room. You could probably fit 3 people, I would say, sleeping on the floor side by side, 4 at a squeeze. And you can see that this is the front door, the mesh, inner mesh, that rolls up and uses a similar Velcro attachments. It's got the same zips as all of the other doors. A pocket at the front there as well for wallets and phones and bits and pieces. And a thick PVC, I think it's PVC floor. Again, clear view out of the back window of the tent. So stepping back outside, that's where it's sagging in. So if anybody has any tips on how to avoid that, that would be most welcome. But that's the Southern Cross Ultimate tent, the 9x9 version.